afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a windy Headingley. You can hear from the roar of the crowd that Leeds are just taking the field for what's probably the most important game since Dougie Lawton came to Leeds. A big derby match in process against local rivals Castleford to see who goes into Monday's draw for the semi-final of the Silk Cut Challenge Cup, and what a tie this promises to be. Leeds, of course, well victors over Castleford on Boxing Day, but that will count for absolutely nothing this afternoon. Well, we've been moved from our normal position because of the BBC cameras, and I can tell you we've got a superb view right from behind the post. As you can see from the camera, I'm actually sat right over the black dot, as it were, right in the middle of the sticks. A tremendous view from here, and we'd just like to extend a warm welcome to our sponsors at Headingley today, which is Rotherham and Brereton. And the mascot for today is Hannah Foyston, and she's aged 7. She's Tranmere Park Guiseley School. Her hobbies are horse riding and swimming, and her favourite player is Gary Schofield, and her favourite food is Yorkshire pudding and ice cream. And I'm sure she'll be have a very exciting and happy day today. Just have a minute's silence now for the death of Bobby Moore. Just a minute's silence there for the late Bobby Moore, England World Cup captain, who sadly died this week, aged 51. So I'll just run through the teams for you now. Leeds' strongest lineup possible: Alan Tate is at fullback, Jim Fallon and Simon Irwin, a couple of England B Rugby Union players on the wings, and a couple of New Zealanders in the centre with Kevin Ido and Craig Innes. Gary Schofield and Andy Gregory the halves, Steve Malloy, James Laws and Mike O'Neill. The front three with Paul Dixon, Gary Mercer and Ellery Hanley, the captain making up the pack. Andy Goodway, now happily recovered from his injury, and Paul Anderson are the substitutes. And for Castleford, well, they'll line up with Graham Stedman at fullback, St John Ellis, Tony Smith, Grant Anderson, David Nelson has passed the fitness test, so he keeps his place on the wing. Peter Coyne and Mike Ford are the half-backs. Lee Crooks, Graham Southernwood, Dean Sampson. The front three with Tony Morrison, Andy Fisher, Tuara Nickar make up the pack. Paul Fletcher and Keith England are the substitutes. The referee for this afternoon from Wigan, Mr Ian Ollerton. Well, wind is blowing straight down the field, and whoever plays towards this end in the first half will have the benefit of a strong wind. So Lee Crooks sensibly won the toss and has decided that they will play into the teeth of this strong wind. Hopefully they will have the wind in the second half when Leeds will tire. That's the theory of things as Lee Crooks sees them. We're almost set to be underway, as I say, what promises to be the most important game of the season so far for both sides. Nothing really left to play for except to runners-up spot in the Championship, and Leeds a big week for them. They've got Wigan here at Headingley on Wednesday evening. So Graham Stedman's going to kick off, and a huge crowd here this afternoon, a tremendous atmosphere. Well, Stedman puts boot to ball, and that's wavering in the wind. It'll be very difficult this afternoon for goal kickers. Gary Mercer immediately running that ball forward. The ball's gone loose there, and Castleford have it, so that's a good tackle immediately. Simon Irwin losing the ball, and Castleford in possession. And switching play, Mike Ford, Stedman jinking, and a good tackle coming in from Schofield. Sampson just taking play up towards the 10-metre mark. It's come back. Ford, is he going to try drop goal? He switched there, clever switch of play. There's some crossing there. So that's a penalty immediately, and a Castleford move going quite wrong there at this early stage. So the first penalty of the game going to Leeds. Finds touch, just short of halfway. And James Lowes with the tap now will bring Steve Malloy. Now Jim Fallon coming in from the wing, having a run. Steve Malloy, oh that's great running from Steve Malloy, and intentions already there from Steve Malloy. That's going to have a big game this afternoon. That's important for Leeds. These forwards really get to grips with the Castleford back. Dixon, another one, Torwin charging through. That's good play from Leeds. Gregory now. And that's Alan Tate in the line, taking advantage of the wind there. And blowing the ball off Gary Schofield's head. Hanley showing the ball, going himself. Fallon. So up to the last tackle now, and difficult times for Castleford as they're defending on their own line. Tate goes himself from acting half-back, and Leeds will take the hand over there. And Stenman tackle immediately in possession. That's good play from Leeds. Sampson and Idaho bringing him down there. Two-man second row tackle from Leeds. Nelson. Mike Ford, that's a good ball there. Out to Tony Smith. St. John Ellis. Trying to burrow his way through, and Castleford have made somewhat laboured progress up to that 30-metre mark. The Sutherwood ball is back for Stedman to put the kick in. Kick blowing in the wind there, and Alan Tate picks up for Leeds. Simon Irving. And good tackling from Castleford, just keeping Leeds pending their own half of the field now. And Gary Mercer it is who runs forward into that, just over the halfway line. And Leeds using the short side. Mike O'Neill. Gregory again. Finds Schofield, and Schofield puts boot to the ball, and that's into space, and Craig Innes is chasing, and so is Graham Stedman. And Stedman just watching that ball run out there. Great kick from Gary Schofield, good chase from Craig Innes. And the result will be the first scrum of the game to head and ball of Castleford. The referee just had a word with Graham Sutherwood at the instance of the touch judge. As Castleford win the heel, and Stedman brings St. John Ellis on a gallop. On a great tackle there from Craig Innes. Crooks. And a head-high tackle, a judge there from Gary Mercer. So Castleford get the penalty. The kick finds touch. And Castleford will be on the attack. In the Leeds half of the field, and good tackling there from Leeds, bringing him down. So again, Castleford receiving another penalty there. And this now will give Castleford a chance to attack. Deep in Leeds territory as Stedman's kick finds touch 30 metres from that Leeds line. Leeds. And Sampson there. Good charge there from Dean Sampson. Crooks, oh, that's good play from Lee Crooks, taking that ball and looking for support all the time, looking to offload that ball. Dangerous times for Leeds. Ford. The short ball is from Morrison. seen little so far of Andy Fisher and Nick Howe, both running out wide, very dangerous. But Castleford taking the other option there. What a great tackle there, coming in on Coyne. Steadman just held up inches short now, difficult to see from this end of the field. Sun shining their eyes up to the sixth tackle. And that's a drop out under the post. The Leeds having to kick that ball in at this early stage. Leeds dropping out with Schofield, and that's come right up towards halfway, and Steadman takes it on the full and gives it to Nick Howe for a run. And two New Zealanders bring another New Zealander down, Gary Mercer and Craig Innes. Castleford used that short side with Lee Crooks and Tony Smith just hovering there for the... He's got a lot of tries this season for the passes off Lee Crooks, slipping him out of the tackle. It's Mike Ford. Southern would look to have knocked on there. And Sampson now on Castleford again, strongly in position, 10 metres from that Leeds line. Nick Howe. Up to the last tackle. St. John Ellis rammed into touch there on the sixth tackle. Great tackling from Leeds, good defence there, St. John Ellis. So it'll be a 10 metre scrum, it'll be head and ball to Leeds. And that's against the head there. So Castleford on the attack now, on the rampage. Great running there from Morrison. A long ball out there, that's good play from Castleford in these windy conditions, and well taken there by Grant Anderson. Coyne again, Mike Ford. Dangerous times for Leeds, it's stretched here, Leeds. And again, St. John Ellis into touch there. And good tackling from Leeds on that far side. Touching goal there. Referee's decided, so Leeds will have a tap, and a welcome one at that. From that 20 metre line, Alan Hanley quickly into his stride and runs himself. Takes the 10 metres. The South Stank roar coming up, you can hear them on here as Leeds struggling to get back into the Castleford half of the field. Lowe's goes himself from acting half on a head-high tackle, so Leeds will get a penalty, or in spite of a penalty. It's the second of the game. Always difficult to predict the outcome of Leeds and Castleford games, and none more hard than a cup tie in the third round of the Challenge Cup. The next game, the semi-final, and one game from Wembley. Fallon bumps his way infield now. Leeds 30 metres from that Castleford line, and attacking with Steve Malloy. Mike O'Neill, that's good play from the props. Andy Gregory running, slips the wall, trying to go himself, Gregory into that 20 metre area now, and Leeds pressing strongly. Schofield switches play, goes himself, finds Mike O'Neill. And Dixon well spotted there by Grant Anderson. That's good play from Anderson. Steve Malloy. And Leeds again back in that 20 metre area up to the last tackle. Hanley goes himself, he's got Schofield with him, puts a kick in there, and that's in the touch off of Grant Anderson, so that'll be head and ball to Leeds at the scrum. And that gives Leeds a chance to press strongly here now. And Gregory having to come round for the ball. Wynn now picking up stronger with Each passing moment. It's out to Gregory and Schofield. Schofield and Ido running round there. That's good play from Schofield. Simon Irving just couldn't catch on to that ball, but Alan Tate now. And Alan Tate into touch there. Great tackling from Castleford. A good play from the scrum from Leeds. Again, Castleford bringing that ball out of the scrum with Michael Ford. Coyne. Sampson. And the two Leeds props bringing him down there in fine style. Steve Malloy hanging on and Mike O'Neill coming and completing the job. As Mike Ford looks for runners, finds Lee Crooks, and that's a forward pass. Crooks not happy with something that's gone on there, and Crooks has said something, and the scrum has now been turned into a penalty. Well, Simon Irving will kick at goal. And this kicking right towards our commentary position now. Chance for Leeds to open the scoring. First chance of the game. We've been playing about 13 moments now, 30 minutes. And very close, as unexpected. Difficult conditions for the goal kickers this afternoon. The wind just died down at the moment. Simon Irving, not by his standards, a difficult kick. And that's safely through, so 14 minutes then, Leeds taking the lead. The Leeds 2, Castleford 0. And a good start for the Leeds there, taking the kick instead of trying to go for the 6 points. And again, we'd like to extend a warm welcome to our sponsors this afternoon, Rotherham and Brereton. And hope they're enjoying their afternoon at Headingley today. Hanley taking that ball on the fall. Lowe scores himself from acting half back there and makes a good few metres before he's brought down there. A lot of Leeds public not liking the tackle, but referee says it's okay. Mercer makes ground down the middle. Gregory now. Mike O'Neill just can't get the ball away. Oh, and this is getting ridiculous now. Something gone on there with Lee Crooks, I think, in the tackle on Mike O'Neill. Back to its number 12, Andy Fisher. Player that Leeds were linked with just before the Challenge Cup deadline. So another penalty as far as Leeds are concerned. Schofield finds touch there, and Leeds again with the crowd behind them on the attack. 35 metres from that line. Simon Irving comes in field. Rock back there. Good tackle coming in from Graham Southernwood. Malloy. And that across the chest as a referee. Schofield. Leeds opening it out now. Schofield bumps off Nick Howe. Good play from Schofield. Dodging and weaving, going himself, using Kevin Ido as a foil. Ido again. And Castleford well aware of Kevin Ido's brute strength. Gregory. ball's put down there. So Castleford back in possession. And Sampson, what a strong player Dean Sampson is. Nick Howe, and well policed there, Nick Howe by Dixon and Steve Malloy. And wrapped up there, and Castleford some panic football there. Stedman, fine speed of coin. Smith. And then it's wrapping him up, and Castleford on the sixth tackle. And Mike Ford will run this ball, that's good play, sensible play. And Ellis kicked through there, and Allentate took that ball well. Simon Irving comes in field, looks to escape the clutches of Lee Crooks, play just on the halfway line. The other side really taking control of this game. There's some good tackling coming in from both sets of forwards at the moment. Dixon. Well, Dixon only knows one way, and that's straight forward, and that's great running from Paul Dixon. Gregory. Long ball's out for Ido. Oh, and Ido well policed again there. Up to the last tackle now, Hanley. Goes himself. Chips through. And straight into the arms of Tony Smith. And Castleford will have 6 more attempts at breaking away from the line. St. John Ellis comes in field, jinks and weaves, runs, straightens up now. Good running there. Ian Alton polices the 10 metres. As Morrison tries to break away, a great tackle coming in from Gary Mercer. Ford again, he's definitely the danger man as far as Leeds are concerned. And that ball's back in the middle of the field for Peter Coyne, an excellent touch kicker. Pumps that down the middle and sends Alan Tate on a long run back, and it's a long way back for Alan Tate. And a good tackle. Fallon now. Looks to break down the middle of the field. Leeds again using the short side. Schofield puts Innes away. Schofield round the back for the return, but Innes couldn't get the ball out. Well clamped there, man and ball, Castleford. Andy Gregory, stepping, weaving, dodging. And bringing play almost up to halfway. Mercer. And we're up to the last tackle now. And what will Leeds do? Will they run this ball or will they look to kick? And Gregory's in a position where he can kick, and so is Alan Tate. And Tate kicks again downfield, kicking into space, and sun in St. John Ellis's eyes, but he takes that ball eventually on the bounce. Stedman. Coyne. He just slipped one of those balls, and well collared there by Mike O'Neill, round the neck, down the collar of the shirt. Ford. Nick Howe. And the Leeds player Gary Mercer hanging on there for Grimneth to the shirt of Tuara Nick Howe's. A big loose forward, look to be heading for a break. Oh, and that's one of the super balls there from St. John Ellis. Gregory missed him there. That's good play from Castleford, starting to open things out. Alan Tate has to take that ball dead. Difficult to see what the referee is signalling here. Crooks. I think that's the sin bin for Lee Crooks, or is it the blood bin? You can't see from this distance, just looks like the blood bin for Lee Crooks. So Keith England coming on, and we've already seen a slip pass from Lee Crooks, which took Castleford right down the other end of the field. And Schofield drops out. And Coyne safely collects for Castleford and runs that ball back. That's a good tackle from Mike O'Neill. England. Oh, great ball there from Southernwood, and Grant Anderson almost through, and a good tackle there from Leeds. Nick Howe held up there, trying to use the short side. So all times dangerous again for Leeds as Castleford put to open play out, and the Leeds sliding defence will have to slide quickly here. Oh, and a great tackle coming in on Steadman by James Lowes, I think. And again, Leeds will drop out from behind their own sticks. So Schofield took that ball, had really nothing he could do there except take the tackle over the line. Clever kicks coming in by Castleford. 22 minutes gone, Leeds still clinging to that 2 points in the lead. Lee Crooks back on the field with his head strapped up. Schofield again drops out, and Steadman. A good hard tackle coming in from Mike O'Neill and Graham Steadman. Morrison now. And Grant Anderson knocks on, so that Castleford raid comes to naught. 22 minutes gone, Leeds 2, Castleford 0. In the third round of the Silk Cup Challenge Cup here at Headingley this afternoon. Beautiful day, just a bit windy, but apart from that, conditions perfect for rugby. Gregory rings Fallon round at the scrum there, and that ball's raked out there. So penalty to Leeds. Schofield's kick finds a good touch there. 10 metres or so inside the Castleford half of the field, and Steve Malloy driving in for Leeds now. Andy Gregory just drops off there for Dixon, and Dixon's well wrapped up by Southernwood. Innis, oh, that's a good tackle from Nick Howe. Spotted Innis there coming on that charge, and Leeds stacking men up now on the short side with Andy Gregory. Gregory takes play, goes himself. Hanley. Leeds looking for a piece of Ellery Hanley magic here. And almost finding it, in fact he is finding it. Fallon. That's going to be a try to Leeds. That's a try to Leeds to Jim Fallon. Just the sort of try that Jim Fallon loves to score. Great play there from Ellery Hanley and Kevin Iroh. 25 minutes gone now then, Leeds going further in the lead. Tremendous try. Ellery Hanley there, just watch that again. Ellery Hanley moving that ball across the field, looking for the gap. Fine. Iroh Dixon. Sorry, he took that ball well, Dixon, and then just passed it out, and there was Fallon, and he had a lot to do when he got that ball. He'd Nelson to beat, and he did that well. But that's just the sort of try that Jim Fallon loves to score. Hard and straight and for the corner. Well, Leeds 6 points to 0 and in the lead. Leeds could do with rattling up some points in this first half. They've got the benefit of a strong wind. Spinning ball is for Gregory, and here comes Gary Mercer on the charge. Oh, and put down there, and Castleford in possession with Nick Howe. And can they get back straight away, Castleford? Fisher turning that ball back, bringing the ball back inside, should I say. Sampson, that's good running from Sampson. Crooks again, heading for the Leeds post, and well tackled there, and Ford, that's a long ball, that's for Nick out. Oh, and a good tackle on Nick out there from Innes. Castleford getting the benefit of a penalty. In fact, that penalty is going to Leeds, so Castleford not very happy with it. Not playing the ball correctly, says the referee, Mr. O'Latten from Wigan. And Leeds again will come upfield. It was just from one such penalty that Leeds scored their try. Steve Malloy again. 3 men in at the tackle, bringing him down. Schofield with a short ball there, that's for Dixon. Lowe's, good stepping run from James Lowe's play just inside the Leeds half of the Castleford half of the field. Schofield with the kick. Kicking for the corners, and that's a great kick and finds touch 10 metres or so from that Castleford line. So score will be for Castleford, the head and feed to the man from Weldon Lane. Fisher. Oh, well wrapped up there by the two Leeds left centre pairing, Simon Irving and Craig Innes, and they've got another good tackle there from Simon Irving. Clocks now. And both the Castleford centres, Smith and Grant Anderson, both aware of what Lee Crooks can do, following him all around the ground. Tackle on Sampson there, that's 6 tackles, good tackling from Leeds, keeping Castleford pinned down here. And the ball's for Stedman to kick, and the chasers are all downtown as the wind forces Alan Tate to run backwards. Gregory finds Fallon. The former England B Rugby Union winger took that try well, and Leeds stood still at the moment. Dixon now, it's into his stride. The wind whistling mercilessly should I say, around here now. Hanley, it breaks up the middle of the field. Great play from Hanley. We're up to the last tackle now as Leeds move it out with Gregory. Schofield. And in touch there was the cry from the referee, from the touch judge. So a head and ball to Castleford. In fact, that might be the 6th tackle, that should be the turnover. The referee's about to award a scrum. And Coyne, has he got the legs to go, Coyne? Made a bit of a mess of that, did Coyne, and Castleford. First time Peter Coyne's got away from the clutches of Schofield or Hanley at the scrum base. Crooks. And well brought down there by his opposite number, Steve Malloy. And gratefully back in possession, Leeds. The wind just abates for a second as Gary Mercer ploughing upfield. Dixon now. And Dixon had a big game so far this afternoon. Hanley. Oh, great tackling from Nick Howe. Wrapping him up there, Hanley. Just a half break there. Gregory patrolling things well there and bringing Steve Malloy on the burst. We're up to the last tackle, and Leeds just inside the Castleford half of the field. And Schofield again will kick Kicks down for St Gianellis. And good tackling brings St Gianellis down. Oh, penalty to Castleford there. And Leeds are bringing a substitute on, Paul Anderson for Mike O'Neill. It's 32 minutes gone, so 8 minutes short of half-time. Stedman plays that ball to himself. Well, makes good ground there, Stedman. And Castleford would love a try and a goal at this stage to bring the sides level as we approach half-time. Forward again. Spots the gap there and quickly Hanley closes up his options, closing them down. The drop off there from Coyne was for Nichow. Coyne again, taking men on. This time he's brought down by Steve Malloy. Forward. St Gianellis there, knocked into the north stand wall there by Andy Gregory. And Leeds back in possession with Alan Tate. That's good running from Alan Tate there. Oh, and another thump coming in there. Surely the referee's seen that. That's ridiculous play from St Gianellis. Castleford guilty of some indiscipline this afternoon. 7-3. The penalties in Leeds' favour. I think Simon Irving coming off there for the blood bin as Andy Goodway comes on for Leeds. So Leeds then will tap with James Lawes, and immediately Andy Goodway into his stride. Anderson. The Castleford lad, Paul Anderson, he'll be keen to do well this afternoon. Malloy and Mercer working the oracle in the middle of the field, that's good play. Gregory finds Schofield. Stepping Schofield. Oh, and Leeds with men to spare now, Mercer. Andy Fisher up round the neck, tackling again, but he's got away with it this time. Gregory, Schofield again now. Finds Alan Tate, Tate with the pace. But Nichow wraps him up to the last tackle now, and Leeds would love a try at this late stage of the first half. Schofield's bomb, that's a tremendous kick. Stedman's underneath it, takes it well, and the tackle of Ellery Hanley. Great play there from Schofield, Hanley and Stedman. Nelson. St Gianellis. Nowhere to go there for St Gianellis. Except straight to the waiting clutches of Jimmy Lawes. Sampson, that's better play from Castleford, running with some depth there. Sutherland goes from Acton half. Up to the last tackle already. That's out in the full. And Andy Gregory appealing for the penalty there as he was shoulder charged out of that. So Leeds will play the ball. It's coming up to 36 minutes gone according to the scoreboard at the far end. Leeds 6, Castleford 0, and Leeds will play this ball with James Lawes. And Schofield, Leeds using that short side with Steve Malloy, and almost through there. Malloy and two Castleford players have collided there, and it looks a nasty knock. Castleford player looks absolutely out cold there. It's Peter Coyne. It was a nasty collision with two Castleford heads in the tackle. And Coyne was immediately poleaxed there. Stephen Lloyd made the half break, and the two Castleford players coming in there just collided with each other. The coin doesn't know whether he's on this earth or Fuller's earth at the moment. So this could be a big blow to Castleford, or it could turn things. I think the idea of this was to bring Fletcher on at full back and move Stedman to 6. So 37 minutes gone, then a Castleford substitution. Coin is carried from the field. Always had sight to see that. And Fletcher will come on. Leeds will play that ball on the second tackle. Paul Anderson will run at Lee Crooks. And losing the ball, so Castleford back in possession. And Anderson immediately gives a penalty away. Something he said to the referee, and another one. So Leeds will have to defend now as we approach the half-time period. 6 points to 0 in the lead. Samson, runs straight at James Laws, and Laws patrolling that, play the ball area well. Nelson, that's a good tackle from Anderson on Nelson. Nelson rocked back there. And Cook's halfway through there, and Nick Howe. And Anderson brought down, good play from Castleford now. Turning the screw, Castleford, that's good play. And men to spare on this side. Nick Howe goes himself. And that's going to be a try, so Leeds caught as Mike Ford goes over just on half-time, just what they didn't want. Ford backing up as always. 38 minutes, good play from Castleford after they got the two penalties in quick succession, moving that ball, and Leeds defence for once caught out. So Crooks with his head bandaged up then with the kick. And it's there, so that's 6 points all. One try, one goal each. Leeds 6, Castleford 6, just a couple of minutes to go. And Leeds paying the price for some indiscipline there. Ford. And there goes a hooter. So 6 points each at half-time there. Leeds 6, Castleford 6. It was Leeds who opened the score with a penalty from Simon Irving on 2 minutes. On 40 minutes it was 2-0, and then Fallon had a great try in the corner in 25 minutes, and it was 6-0. And then just on the stroke of half-time there, Ford had a try, Cooks converted, 6 points all. So Gary Schofield gets the second half underway. 6 points all here, and all the play for in the next 40 minutes of place in that Challenge Cup semi-final draw tomorrow. Some good sides left in there: Halifax, Wigan, Hull KR and Widnes, and of course Bradford and Oldham. So both sides with a lot to play for this afternoon. That's a great tackle on Nick Howe. And that's back to Stedman, and this will be Castleford's ploy, you can bet, in this half, to keep the ball firmly down here. Great kick there from Stedman, finds a good touch. Snow coming down now, driving into his faces at the back of the post. In the first half, scrums were lay at 5-3 to Castleford, including the one against the head, and the penalty 7-4 to Leeds. The Leeds paid the price for the penalty at the end there, the try. That ball out to Gregory. Simon Irving, who's head bandaged up, comes in off the wing. Ido already starting to make his presence felt, Kevin Ido. That's great running there from Ido. Straight from the scrum. Gregory finds Hanley. And Hanley's well wrapped up there by Morrison and Nicow. Gregory finds Schofield. And a good tackle on Innes. As Innes trying to run wide there from a Gary Schofield pass. Tate. And again Innes trying to break free and leads up to the last tackle. That ball from Schofield spinning there, and Simon Irving it is who takes it there and puts the ball down. In the swirling wind. So hand over Castleford. In possession. St Giles it is who's running across field, and he's well tackled there by Hanley. Nicow. And Mike Ford again, darting and weaving, had a good first half. Steadman puts the ball. And a great kick again, using the wind to good effect, Steadman. And the snow absolutely sailing down now, 43 minutes gone. Blowing into the faces of Leeds. And Steadman and Simon Irving will just take that ball in there. Tate. The Leeds pack just stick grips now, Steve Malloy. Innes. Oh, good play there from Innes, taking play up to that halfway line. Schofield will find Andy Gregory. Tate in the line now. Well wrapped up by Nicow. Gregory again. Fallon. And Fallon collides with the boards as St Giles did earlier on in the game. The sixth tackle with a turnover, so Castleford will be in possession. Sampson. Andy Fisher. And pulled down there by Innes. And picked up for Leeds by Gary Mercer. So bad ball there from Castleford. Mercer is in possession. Hanley acting half, goes himself. And the snow flurry just stopped at the moment. Lawes using the short side with Malloy. Gregory again, Schofield now. Innes and Tate's with him. That's out for Simon Irving, and Simon Irving, will he have the legs? And Tate pulled in the touch there, great tackling from Castleford, great play from Leeds. So Castleford then with the scrum with the head and ball. St Janellis. Falls to an Alan Tate tackle. Morrison. Good tackle from Mercer and Morrison. And here come Castleford now, Steadman and Nick Howe. And they've got hard old-fashioned cup ties, this Southernwood. Bumping men off Southernwood. And that's back for Steadman to put boot to ball again, and this time Alan Tate will have to chase this back. Anderson. Gregory finds Dixon. And Dixon just taking the tackle despite Lowe's bringing in support there as Leeds just try and bring it away with Schofield. Oh, and some good tackling coming in from Castleford now in these early stages of this second half. Anderson Leeds stood still at the moment and finds Steve Malloy. Schofield. Andy Fisher intercepting there, but Leeds will get the benefit of that head and ball at that scrum. A bitterly cold afternoon as Andy Gregory feeds the Leeds pack. And Schofield looks for the drop off there. And Anderson brings him down. Well spotted there, Grant Anderson, good tackle. Done the Great Britain skipper. Gregory doing a run around with Jim Fallon. Mercer. Finds Irving again, Irving coming back inside, losing Innes. Leeds struggling to make ground against some fine Castleford tackling. Steve Malloy and good tackling again. By Crooks. Hanley and around with Gregory there. That ball's for Schofield. And Gregory picks up and goes himself, Andy Gregory. And three men bringing him down up to that Castleford 20-metre area, but up to the last tackle. Tate puts boot to ball straight into the arms of Nelson. Some good tackling from Leeds, keeping Nelson pinned down there now. 49 minutes of this pulsating cup tie gone, 6-all, scores level. Paul Fletcher, the Castleford substitute. Move to fullback. Smith. Crooks has lost that ball. And Leeds guilty of giving away a penalty there. And Simon Irving now, has he got the leg? Simon Irving, he's going heading down for the corner, cuts inside. Great tackle from Nick Howe. Steadman didn't find touch with the kick. And here come Leeds now with Gary Mercer. And Leeds will play strongly 50 minutes. Schofield. Iro pushes men off there. And the touch judge there saying that Iro was in touch when he passed the Fallon, so as the snow comes down again, Leeds missed a slight chance there. Ford. Castleford's 7th scrum. Good tackling again by Leeds, keeping Castleford pinned down there. The snow flurry. And a knock on as Castleford, perhaps Lee Crooks there just trying to force that ball. So Leeds a chance to attack deep in Castleford territory, heading ball at the scrum. Schofield. And looks for Tate. Goes himself. Innes finds James Lowes. But Castleford are well alert to this. Kenny Mercer bumps men off. Taking play now, 10 metres from that line. Leeds tackling up to this left. Switch it there with Steve Malloy. Heading for the line, only metres short now. Leeds pressing strongly. Hanley can't go himself and Leeds up to the last tackle. Andy Gregory puts a chip through. That ball goes dead, so that'll be a dropout. Castleford knocking that ball dead. Good play there from Andy Gregory. And 52 minutes gone then, and Castleford will drop this ball out with Graham Steadman, and they're in debate slightly as he puts boot to ball. Still manages to find Alan Tate on the halfway line. Anderson. Gregory. That's a good tackle on Dixon, and Leeds are quickly playing the ball, trying to get a roll on there. Gregory spots a gap, goes himself, finds Lowes. Gregory taking it back there the other way. Up to the last tackle now, and I know who's out. Hanley goes himself, the short side, puts the kick in. And Castleford gratefully falling on that ball, so another Leeds attack peters out to naught. And a forward pass again, so Leeds again having a chance to put Castleford under some pressure. The 8th scrum, that's for Kevin Iro to run, and Iro well brought down there. Leeds bringing it back this way with Schofield. Hanley so strong near the line, but not this time as Castleford wrapping him up. 10 metres, Schofield. Steve Malloy using Steve Malloy as a battering ram. Leeds again, only a yard short of the line. Castleford tackling been superb this afternoon under tremendous pressure, particularly in the early stage of this second half. Anderson, will he stride out for the line? He's lost the ball. Castleford back in possession with Fletcher. Back forward. Lee Crooks. Cow again. And Castleford now made progress out of that 20-metre area. And Dean Sampson. The Leeds can expect the kick from Steadman, and Steadman sees his spot and picks it well there. Alan Tate takes that on the burst. No sidestepping length of the field run for Alan Tate so far this afternoon. Fallon. Struggling Jim Fallon there, but takes play away from the Leeds 20-metre area. Nick Gregory now looks for runners. Finds Dixon. Schofield tries a chip over. Oh, straight into the arms of David Nelson. And brings him down, and Hanley finishing off the job. That's good play from Schofield. Castleford. A tackle from Hanley. Leeds have a substitute warming up, Andy Goodway. Good ball from Sampson, and now Castleford have a chance to attack with Nick out. And that was a great tackle coming in there from Paul Dixon. Ford again. St. John Ellis, chinking, weaving, and that's a good tackle again on Ellis. And this time the ball's back for Steadman again. He'll put boot to ball. Alan Tate. Looks for the gap, and he's through there, Tate. And just knocked out of his stride there as Steadman finally caught him. And that's going to be a penalty there to Leeds. And Hanley takes that quick and makes good yardage. Anderson. And Nick Howe. And Anderson laid out there, and that's a bad tackle by Nick Howe. Anderson punched. So Leeds will try and take the 2 points with Simon Irving. It's a difficult kick this. It's 35 metres out, but it's perfectly straight, but he's against this terrible wind. Andy Goodway fit and raring to go on the touchline side. And 58 minutes gone then, just approaching three-quarter time. Scores tied here at 6-all. Simon Irving then looks to put Leeds back in the lead. Oh, and it's waved away there, so that's not successful, just curling away at the last minute. Tony Smith, and that's well wrapped up there by Craig Innes. Castleford already up to the last tackle. And back for Steadman. Schofield puts pressure on Steadman, and a good sidestep there. And Steadman played everyone on side there. Good thinking there by the Castleford full-back who's switched to stand off. Gregory, Dixon. It's Leeds' turn to defend, and defend well now. Anderson bumps men off. Gregory. And Schofield. Ido now. Innes. Innes is away there, Ido. Tackle as he caught the ball. Good play there from the centres. Hanley. Gary Mercer and Leeds have got men to spare over on this side. Tate now. Dixon's going there. Fallon, is he going to score a try? A try there to Jim Fallon again. 2 tries to Fallon. Castleford not happy about that, but Fallon will be absolutely delighted. Well, Jim Fallon over then. 61 minutes gone. Leeds always had men to spare there on that side. Jim Fallon then with that try, and Simon Irving a difficult kick again. Leeds going 10 points to 6 in the lead. The second try this afternoon. Irving's kicks a belter from the touchline. Well, would you believe it? What a great kick from Simon Irving. 12 points to 6 then. For Leeds, being that semi-final draw in the morning, there's still 20 minutes of this game to go, and Castleford not dead and not done for yet. Tony Morrison coming off. Steadman kicks off, and that's Andy Gregory. Hines Mercer. And Castleford keen now to keep Leeds penned down here. They'll be looking to seize on any Leeds mistake. Andy Goodway. Fresh pair of legs on to fight the cause. Anderson. I thought that was Steve Malloy. I don't know why I said Paul Anderson then. Hanley. Oh, and that's great running from Melanie Hanley. Inspirational game this afternoon. That's Paul Anderson now. And Leeds up to the last tackle. Andy Gregory puts boot to ball. That's a great kick and that finds touch. 30 metres, in fact 26 metres or so from that Castleford line. So the Castleford crowd below me a little subdued at the moment, as Leeds 12 points to 6 in the lead. So Mike Ford feeds for Castleford. Good tackle there, that's Gary Schofield putting his shoulder into David Nelson as Castleford used the short side with Lee Crooks, and Lee Crooks stepping. That's a good ball away, and only as far as Graham Southernwood, who's well wrapped up by Ellery Hanley. Nick Howe, it's better play from Castleford, and Nick Howe caught and throwing that ball back now for Steadman. Fisher, oh, it's better play from Castleford, and here they come again now. England, Smith. Great tackling from Leeds, keeping them out now. And here come Castleford with Mike Ford. Fisher. St John Ellis. Hanley wraps him up and brings him down. We're up to the last tackle. Well, Leeds will do well to survive this, and the ball's moving outside there. Crooks puts a chip across. Kevin Iro just knocks that ball dead. So the Castleford fans cheering again now. Great play from Castleford. The ball finally appears. Lee Crooks it is all. And Gary Schofield, it will be dropping this kick out. Spinning in the wind. And Fletcher takes for Castleford and brings it back there with purpose, Paul Fletcher. Castleford just 35 metres out, using the short side. England, good tackle by Innes. Well, Leeds under pressure now. On a bad pass, and it's picked up by Andy Fisher. Brought down there, Fisher. Crooks. Well, I don't see what the problem was there with that, because he was picked up, but he certainly wasn't dumped onto the ground. So 66 minutes then gone, and Lee Crooks has the easiest of kicks. That was a controversial decision there. Lee Cook certainly not slammed you to the ground, he was only picked up. And he's going to make Leeds pay here. Oh, Cooks from right in front of where I'm sitting strikes it well and through the middle, so Castleford hit back. And a penalty to Lee Crooks. "67 minutes gone then, 13 minutes of this pulsating third round Challenge Cup tie left for Player Leeds. 12 points to 8 in the lead. Gary Schofield gets this game restarted. And Castleford in possession with Andy Fisher. And the snow absolutely siling down at the moment. As you'd expect from this game, tight game, nothing like the game on Boxing Day. Crooks comes in again there. And Castleford moving the ball with Nick Howe. Smith, it's St John Ellis. And that's a good tackle coming in on Ellis. Steadman again looks to pick his spot. Sends Alan Tate scurrying back, and Tate will run there, and Mike Ford at his own tackles him well. Schofield finds Ido. Leeds losing that ball there in the tackle. And Castleford now have a chance to put pressure on Leeds. At the scrum. Nick Howe picks up that ball from the scrum. And Leeds, Castleford just 12 metres from that, 22 metres from that Leeds line. Dean Sampson, driving play up now in that 20-metre area. Leeds defence. It's still Lee Crooks. Can't get the ball away. Right under the Leeds sticks now, Castleford. Tremendous play. Forward. Long balls out there for Andy Fisher. Fletcher, Grant Anderson. Oh, good tackle on Anderson there. And timely one from Steve Malloy. Castleford are meant to spare here. Steadman. Smith. Oh, and brought down. We're up to the last tackle again now. So what will Castleford do here? Alan Tate, and Leeds will have to drop out again there as Castleford keep the pressure on Leeds. Alan Tate injured there. The Leeds will kneel all their men on song to stop the Castleford onslaught as Mike Ford just telling everyone to settle it down. So Schofield drops out. It must be the 5th or 6th time that Leeds have dropped out this afternoon. And Ford finds Fletcher. Almost through the gap there, Fletcher. The Leeds have another 5 tackles to withstand this constant Castleford barrage with beefy England. That's out to St John Ellis. St John Ellis dancing and darting there. Would have probably been better going for the corner. Ford again, England. And Castleford again, just metres short here as Southernwood stacks men up on the short side for Sampson. Ford, Castleford must score here. Nick Howe. What a great tackle by Fallon, and Leeds living dangerously at the moment. Trying to go would put Castleford in the lead. Nelson rocked back, and again it's the last tackle. Ford puts that grubber kick through. James Lowe spots a gap, goes from acting out. That's a good relieving run from Lowe's. So all the hearts in the mouths again there as Castleford put tremendous pressure on that Leeds line. Blows. Finds Mercer on. That's a good tackle there coming in from Tony Smith. Hanley. Great play running from Melanie Hanley, dragging 2 men up towards halfway with him there. 12 points to 8 as Leeds with Steve Malloy looking to get into the Castleford half of the field for the first time for some time. And that's a good kick down into space. And Nelson will pick that up behind his own line, but he runs out well there. And breaking up the middle of the field, David Nelson. Oh, Castleford right back up the middle of the field. That's good play from them. Mike Ford. Schofield it is who brings him down. England back inside Southernwood. And just inside the Leeds half of the field. And Castleford using again the short side with Lee Crooks. Crooks goes himself, looks to offload. Castleford just 35 metres from the line as Mike Ford again finds Nick Cow. Worked tirelessly this afternoon, Nick Cow, and well wrapped up there by Leeds. 8 minutes left for play on the official clock here, and Crooks. Kickovers for Simon Irving and takes it well, Irving. Alan Tate spots the gap, makes good yardage. Leeds tiring now probably with playing into the teeth of the wind. As Ennis takes play away. Gregory finds Lowe's, stepping. Gary Mercer. Up to the last tackle, Leeds. Schofield kicks, that's a good kick there, and that's turned Fletcher, who's had to chase back for it. And Leeds will have to move up quickly and not let Fletcher gain many yards. Oh, Nelson, that's good tackling from Leeds, and a good way up there. Crooks again. Always looking to move the ball, Lee Crooks. For 10.5 minutes of possession Castleford have had in this second half. And there's 6 minutes left for play, and Stedman's got the ball now. He's well wrapped up there, Stedman, and Castleford have had 4 tackles, and the ball's back for Michael Ford. Fisher. Van Anderson, oh, he's lost that ball, and well picked up for Leeds by Andy Gregory. The little fella coming for some stick this afternoon, but he's as tough as all boots, is Andy Gregory. Simon Irving just takes play now. Anderson interfering there, I think, with the... And Castleford back in possession as Anderson loses the ball. And Anderson... Pass look forward there to Tony Smith. Anderson laid out in the middle of the field, so obviously injured in that tackle. So Anderson back on his feet. And Anderson will come off and Paul Dixon will replace him. So Crooks now looking to slip the pass. Southernwood. Oh, and here come Castleford now. That's a great play from Castleford. Stedman, Leeds living dangerously at the moment. Mike Ford, Nick Cowan, Leeds have got Smith on, a good tackle from Craig Innes, wraps him up. And a forward pass, and as that's the sixth tackle, that will be the changeover. So a big effort now required from Leeds as we're into the last 4 or 5 minutes of this game. Dixon back on the field. Mercer. Andy Goodway, sorry. Lowe's finds Malloy. Schofield, that's a good kick from Schofield. That spills in a touch there, just outside the 20-metre area, so head ball at the scrum to Castleford. The minutes tick relentlessly by. Leeds clinging on to the 4 points lead. Out to Castleford, and Steadman now finds Grant Anderson, and good tackle from Leeds. Again using the short side with Paul Fletcher. Fletcher darting, weaving, and Craig Innes is who wraps him up. And Fallon so far won the man of the match award. But I'm sure Jim Fallon had settled for not winning the man of the match award, and Leeds winning the tie. Steadman, Crooks now, dangerous times for Leeds. Nick House dropped that ball. The touch judge is on for something there. And a penalty to Castleford, so Castleford then. That's a great kick from Steadman, and Castleford are now going to pile some pressure on Leeds. Sampson. The Leeds are really going to have to do some defending if they're to progress into tomorrow morning's draw. England. Ford. Finds Crooks. Can't get the ball away, Lee Crooks there as he's wrapped up Castleford. Only metres short of the Leeds line. Oh, penalty there. I think Leeds claiming that Castleford had dropped that ball. Southern would. And Leeds living dangerously now, and this is could be disaster time for Leeds as the ball's moved out. That's got to be a knock on there. And Leeds in possession. Oh, could that be the end as far as Castleford were in the 79th minute of time? There'll be just a few seconds of stoppages. Simon Irving. Nothing stupid now from Leeds. James Lowes. "18 minutes up on the clock as Gary Mercer Lowe spots the gap, goes from acting half. Great running from James Lowes up to the last tackle. Schofield's kick is there into space. That's a great kick, and Nelson will have to chase that back. So 80 minutes up, and you can hear the fans relentlessly shouting for that whistle as Mike Ford now, what can he do? Tackling from Leeds. 12 points to 8 in the lead. Steadman now. Castleford, is this the last chance? St John Ellis. Simon Irving's missed him there on the touchline side. Tate back in possession for Leeds. Well, surely only seconds left now. Hanley takes the tackle, and Leeds looking now to move the ball out with Gary Schofield controlling operations. Steve Malloy. There goes the Houghton, and Leeds is who go through into that semi-final draw tomorrow with the tightest of tight victories. 12 points to 8 in Eddie Headingley. Leeds 12, Castleford 8, and 2 tries from Superman Jim Fallon, the former Bath and England Rugby Union winger. So thank for that there, a disputed try, the second one, but it's Simon Irving who opened the scores with a penalty for Leeds. And then Fallon had his first try in 25 minutes, it was 6 points to 0, and then Ford had a try right on half time for Castleford. Touch converted 6-all, it stayed at 6-all for 61 minutes, the 61st minute, when Fallon had his second try. Irving converted, great work by taking that one, 12 points to 6, and then a penalty from Lee Crooks on 67 minutes was all Castleford could muster in the second half, 12 points to 8 then. So we'll leave you here with the news that it's Leeds who are going through to tomorrow's second round. Semi-final drive. I'm all excited here. Semi-final. Leeds players coming over to the South Stand, they'll be absolutely delighted. A long time since Leeds have been in the Cup semi-final. Great play from Leeds. And leaving them with the news that it's Leeds who progress to tomorrow's draw. Leeds 12, Castleford 8.